How nationalism grew and two important revolutions that changed the history, the American Revolution and the French Revolution. How French Revolution was succeeded or witnessed after the American Revolution, and how nationalism was one of the major reasons why individuals changed their feelings. Now, what actually is nationalism? Nationalism is nothing but a strong love or loyalty towards one's own country. Now, this would include sharing common beliefs, sharing common feelings, sharing common experiences. Also, sometimes people are tied by common languages, social order, religion, so there can be various ways under which we define nationalism. A offshoot of nationalism, we can say, is patriotism. Patriotism is a part of nationalism with a strong and a devout feeling towards one's own nation. Sometimes nationalism also takes up extreme forms and people start to have a bitter attitude against another nations. So that is an extreme form of nationalism, we can say. Now, liberalism is again a offshoot. How? We have witnessed that various rulers had a kind of suppression for the common people. Now, this suppression, when was witnessed by the common people, there was a revolt, a upsurge which was seen with the common masses, and this led to the origin of liberal ideas, liberal opinions, liberal thoughts, and therefore we say liberalism grew, and the curb on the freedom was something that was questioned, that there should not be any further curb on freedom. Liberation of thoughts, ideas, beliefs should be allowed in all ways. So with this nationalism, the feeling of nationalism, the first and the oldest political struggle witnessed was the American Revolution, followed by French Revolution. These two revolutions paved the way for independence in the various colonies across the globe. American Revolution is one of the oldest political struggle that has been witnessed, and this revolution paved the way for further independence movement in the colonies across the globe. So this American Revolution started from 1776 to 1783. In this section, we would understand what is American Revolution, the various causes which led to American Revolution, the chronology in which these events took place. Then we would focus on the 13 British colonies which were established on the eastern coast, followed by the Declaration of Independence. So let's begin understanding the concept of American Revolution. To begin with, the first thing that we need to understand was that this revolution was a first organized and the oldest political struggle for independence which was witnessed. Now, when did Columbus discover America? We very well know it was laid back in 1492 AD. Nearly 300 years after that, America witnessed independence, and till this period of 300 years, many European nations started to establish their colonies in America. These colonies were witnessed mostly on the eastern coast. We would understand that in a while again. The 13 important colonies, the British colonies, which were established on the eastern coast. Now, besides this, there were nations, besides England, there were nations like France, Holland, Spain, which started to establish colonies in North America. Now, all these colonies that were established actually paved way for development, but there were numerous things that were taken into account. The causes for the American Revolution are very, very important. The first essential cause was that Americans did not allow there were no industries which were allowed in America, and Also, there was no trade which was allowed except with England. So besides England, with no other country, America had the right to trade. There were no industries that were allowed to be established in America. Now this was the first reason that led to a kind of wave or a protest among the people. The next important thing was the rights. The people here did not enjoy the same rights as the people of England, and therefore they asked for representation, and they said that we are not ready to pay any taxes unless and until we are given representation. So a slogan started to come up, and this slogan was no taxation without representation. The reason was they were charged huge and hefty amount of taxes, and under Thomas Jefferson, it is suggested that Thomas Jefferson was one of the leading persons for the idea of giving the slogan no taxation without representation, and asked the people to rebel against the rule of England. Also, at the same time, the philosophers paved an important level ground for the common people, where the ideas of freedom, equality, liberty were propounded. And who were these scholars? Who were these philosophers? No other than the French philosophers, the Rousseau, Voltaire and Montesquieu. So these three were the leading philosophers who liberated the mindset of the common people. Also, another important discovery, another important event that happened was the Stamps Act. Now, this Stamps Act was passed in 1765. In 1765, Stamps Act was enacted by the English Parliament, and this imposed stamp taxation on all business transactions. Now, since it was on all business transactions, it brought about huge resentment among the Americans. The next important development, we could say, which led to the War of Independence was the Boston Tea Party in 1773. Now, this was another anti-British protest. What happened on the East Coast in North America was the region of Boston. Now, the people here raided the British ships that came in to the Boston harbor, and numerous crates of tea were thrown directly into the sea. Now, this was a way to show their anger, to show their resentment, and a way to explain the British government that they were against the new taxes that were brought on the colonies. So, Boston Tea Party was another important landmark development which preceded the Declaration of Independence. So, two important things that we need to remember here. The first, as we know, is the Stamps Act. Stamps Act followed by Boston Tea Party. So, Stamps Act was a compulsory stamp taxation on all business transactions. Boston Tea Party was a way of throwing the tea in the Boston harbors from the ships, showing the resentment against the English ideas. And then was the American War of Independence from 1776 to 1783, the most important period that we would understand, followed by the Treaty of Paris in 1783. Now, the 13 British colonies, as you can see, were located on the east coast. The east coast of North America, the region in the south was the Carolina, the North and South Carolina, the Georgia, Virginia. In the north, it was Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. So those were the regions in the north. Now, what happened? There was a constant war between the colonies and the British government, and under George Washington, the Continental Army was led. Now, this ended in 1783 with the Treaty of Paris, as we know, and the colonies became victorious. But there was the Declaration of Independence. So these 13 British colonies, which were on the east coast of United States, as you can see here, came together and united against the policies governed by England. So there was a declaration on 4th of July 1776. And what was this declaration? Nonetheless, the Declaration of Independence. And this was a declaration adopted in Philadelphia with the author Thomas Jefferson, the same person who said no taxation without representation, and he strongly believed that all men are equal and people should be endowed with the basic rights of life, liberty and happiness to live. So this declaration was signed and all people have the right to form their own government was enacted. So what happened was that this declaration brought an end to the existing regime which was there. Now, in 1783, with the Treaty of Paris, the colonies signed it and British officially recognized the independence of the colonies and the new United States of America was born. So in 1783, this was the change that was witnessed. 4 years later, in 1787, the Constitution was laid down at Philadelphia, and in 1789, George Washington became the first president of United States. So George Washington, who initially led the Continental Army, became the first president of America. In line of the Declaration of Independence, 4th July is celebrated as the Independence Day of United States. And what's so unique about the Constitution of America? The Constitution of America is a written constitution with the ideas of federal, democratic and republic structure. So this was about the American Revolution. A quick recap again. In the revolution we have studied what were the major causes, why there were hefty taxes and people asked for representation. Stamp Act in 1765 followed by 1773 Boston Tea Party, then the 1776 Declaration of Independence, followed by 1783 the Treaty of Paris, 1787 the Constitution which was laid down in Philadelphia, and 1789 the swearing of the first president of United States, George Washington. So that was a hierarchy that we studied in this section on American Revolution. In this section, we would understand French Revolution and the role of Napoleon Bonaparte. So let's begin with this layout that we would understand. So we would talk about the three states, the clergy, the nobility and the common people, and the three philosophers whose ideology liberalized the thought process, the fall of the Bastille Fort, followed by the Declaration of Rights of Man, the period of Napoleon Bonaparte that ended with the Battle of Waterloo. Now, important to note, in American Revolution, we talked about Declaration of Independence, which was signed in 1776. Here it is Declaration of Rights of Man. So, a minor difference that we need to understand. To begin with, the French Revolution. Now, French Revolution, as we said, started in the region of France, of course, and this was a period from 1789 to 1795. Much later than the American Revolution. So we can say French Revolution was inspired by American Revolution. Three estates in which the French society was divided was the first estate, which was known as clergy, the second estate, which was nobility, and these were absolute landlords, and the third were the common people. Now common people was also known as the middle class or bourgeoisie, and these were the people who were merchants, peasants, artisans, lawyers, doctors, teachers. So everyone who was working was part of the common man. Now, what was so unique about this structure that existed in France? The first two classes, the clergy and the nobility, enjoyed a luxurious life. They owned land. They did not pay any taxes. So no taxes that has to be paid by clergy and nobility. However, all the taxes were to be borne by the common people. And this common people suffered the most miseries and the hardships. Even King Louis XVI, so Louis XVI, who was the king during that time, it is believed that he lived a luxurious life and paid no heed to the miseries, the hardships of the common people. And there were no checks on the powers of the rulers, and therefore a resentment rose among the common people. So there was a major cause, this was one of the major cause of resentment among the common people. Now, three important philosophers. As we said, these three philosophers, Rousseau, Voltaire and Montesquieu, also influenced the ideologies in American Revolution. Here also they liberalized the thought. So they propounded three important concepts. The first was the concept of liberty. The second was the concept of equality, and the third was the concept of fraternity. Liberty, equality and fraternity were the three concepts that were laid down, and they strongly attacked the ideas laid down by church, by the nobility, the first estate. They fought for the rights of the common people and asked for justice to common people. So Rousseau among these had been very important because he said that subjects, the common people, have the right to throw the king who do not work in accordance to the common people, and therefore he said that middle class is an economic clot, and also they do not have the social and political mobility, so they should be allowed even the social and political mobility in order to rebel against the ancient regimes that have been laid down through the generations. So war started to rise within the common people. There were resentment among the common people, and also the French rulers, since they were constantly engaged with wars, they were draining out the resources of the empire, and these resources of the empire were paid only by the common people who were giving the taxes. So the common people were now forced to pay much more taxes, which strengthened the ideas of rebellion among the common people. So common people who already had to pay tax were not happy with the government. With state constantly moving into more wars, they were asking for more taxes, and this further brought a resentment for the common people. Now what happened was an interesting episode, and this was in 1789. So similar to the Boston Tea Party in American Revolution witnessed in 1773, here was the fall of Bastille Fort. Now what happened here? The people of Paris, they moved into the prison and freed all the people of the prison, and the monarchy at that time was overthrown. This became the symbol of liberation for France, and therefore this event, which happened again in July, so in America the Declaration of Independence was on 4th July, here it is 14th July. So in France, 14th July is celebrated as a national holiday. This was a symbol of liberation of the common people of France with the liberation of the prisoners. Now what happened when in line with this? In line with this, the King Louis XVI and his wife Marie Antoinette was first imprisoned and later on put to death in 1793. Now when King Louis and his wife were put to death, there was a huge chaos in the kingdom, and Jacobins came to power. Jacobins started to create terror, and from 1793 to 94, the people were executed, the nobles, the clergies were executed at a huge pace, and there was a huge terror under the reign of Jacobins. So after Louis XVI was the period of Jacobins, and this was witnessed for nearly a year. But during this time, in 1795, the National Assembly of France, 1795, the National Assembly of France adopted Declaration of Rights of Men. As you can see, the three words which have been crafted, those are liberté, equality and fraternity. That means liberty, equality and fraternity. So this new constitution that was adopted by France focused on the ideas, the three pillars of liberty, equality and fraternity. With this, France came into existence, new democratic thoughts, new ideas were brought, and the supreme power of the king that was so far witnessed in France was abolished, was ended. The nobles, the church lost their properties, lost their lands, and all the lands that was with the nobles, with the churches, was redistributed to common people. Also, the slaves who were there in the French colonies were set free. So no more slavery was witnessed, and a common feeling among the people, a feeling of nationalism started to rise. People started to protect their rights, protect their privileges, and this not only inspired the regions in Europe, but also the colonies which were there in America, which were there in Asia, in Africa, to move against the imperial powers. And even Indian constitution now has these three ideas which were laid down under the French constitution and the French Declaration of Rights of Man. Those are the liberty, equality and fraternity witnessed even in the constitution of India. After this declaration, the Declaration of Rights of Man in 1795, there was the Napoleon Bonaparte's era that started. Now, Napoleon Bonaparte's works have been interesting. He belonged to Corsia family, and he was basically from Italy. He was very, very strong, very, very ambitious, and his wife was Josephine. Josephine was a widow of a noble and mother of 3 children. Now, Napoleon Bonaparte basically started his ideas as a directorate. So he became a directorate in 1799, and under him there was a consulate formed in France, and there were 3 consuls that worked under him. He became first consul and later on the later consul for his life in 1802, and thereafter he became the Emperor of France in 1804. And in 1804, there was the coronation ceremony for Napoleon Bonaparte, which was witnessed. The most golden years of Napoleon Bonaparte have been quoted from 1809 to 1810, and this was the 1808 nearly. 3 years of his life were the most glorious period from 1808 to 1810, and during this time he witnessed numerous military and political supremacies. He defeated Australians in Italy. He also threw away Russians from France and defeated Britain, the people of Britain, and therefore his era has been marked very, very important. He played an important role in establishing small republics in Germany, in Italy, and even in Belgium. So 3 of the regions where he established small republics have been important. And then there was the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Now, Battle of Waterloo was the battle where Napoleon was finally defeated and sent to exile. He was exiled to St. Helena Island, and at St. Helena Island in 1821 he finally died. The Battle of Waterloo is an important part in history. So there was on one side the Napoleon's army under the French commander, and on the other side side, there was the 7th coalition by the British-led coalition, and this was by the Duke of Wellington. So Duke of Wellington under the 7th coalition as one of the sides, and Napoleon Bonaparte, the French army on the other side, had a serious battle at Waterloo. However, Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo and was exiled to St. Helena Island, where he finally died in 1821, and this brought the end of the Napoleon Bonaparte's rule. So a quick recap of what we have understood in this French Revolution. So to begin with, we talked about the three estates, the clergy, the nobility who had the land, who had to pay no taxes. On the other hand, the common people like the doctors, lawyers, peasants, artisans had to pay the taxes, had to have the economic burden, but at the same time were not given the political and the social mobility. So there were three philosophers who came into existence: Voltaire, Rousseau and Montesquieu, and these propounded the three ideas. The three ideas were the ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity under the Declaration of Rights of Man. The fall of Bastille Fort was witnessed, and this was again an important development similar to the Boston Tea Party in American Revolution. And finally was, after this French Revolution ended in 1795, the period of Napoleon Bonaparte started. Napoleon Bonaparte came into power and was finally defeated at the Battle of Waterloo, where he was exiled to St. Helena, and he died in 1821. So that was a quick summary about the French Revolution that we have understood, and how nationalism rose to power. This nationalism awakened the colonies in Asia and Africa to move against the imperial powers.